Good evening and welcome to the January 10th, 2022 public hearing of the Planning Commission on Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. To minimize feedback in the audio, all participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should raise their hand or unmute themselves and turn on their camera to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. That's PLANNER@PLANCOM.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Thereupon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I'd like to ask the clerk to go ahead and call roll.
Bernstein,
Here.
Buzza, Cardenas,
Here.
Dickerson,
Here.
Fernandez,
Here.
Handy,
Okay. Here.
Kress,
Here.
Loke, Powell,
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
All right, thank you. I guess I don't get called. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Chairman
It's all right.
and Joseph.
I mean, obviously I'm here, so I mean.
I do apologize for that.
Oh, no need. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we have Commissioner Handy with us remotely, and I believe we need to take some sort of an action. She's requested of us for her to be able to vote. Mr. Robin, if you want to
Yes,
speak.
Commissioner Handy's indicated that she was unable to attend for some health concerns, and as we've previously done in the past, and given the times that we live in, when that's occurred, we asked the board to authorize the commissioner to appear telephonically and participate in the meeting, which is otherwise not permitted. So it would be appropriate to have a motion to, if the board's in agreement on that, to recognize that concern and grant her request to appear and participate in the meeting this afternoon or this evening.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Kress.
I'll make a motion that Commissioner Handy can participate virtually due to health concerns.
Thank you, Commissioner Kress.
Second.
All right, we have a motion allowing Commissioner Handy to participate remotely for this meeting, made by Commissioner Kress, with second to that motion by Commissioner Powell. Do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments, discussion on? I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and take a roll call vote, please.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell, Joseph.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Thank you. All right. Now on to our first agenda item, our action item, an agenda full of action items tonight. So our first action item is 2A HCCPA 21-22, Comprehensive Plan Map Amendment for Big Bend Road and US Highway 41. And the presenter is Andrea Papandrew.
Good evening, Commissioners. Andrea Papandrew, Planning Commission staff. Give me one moment, I'm going to share my screen. you able to see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Thank you. So again, Andrea Papandrew, Planning Commission staff, presenting HC CPA 21-22, Big Bend Road and US Highway 41. The subject site is located in the southwestern portion of the county. This is a privately initiated map amendment. The site is composed of 5 parcels, approximately 104.76 acres. The site is located on Big Bend Road, just west of the US Highway 41 and Big Bend Road intersection. The site is in the urban service area and the coastal high hazard area. The site is also located within the Apollo Beach and South Shore Area-Wide Systems community plans. The existing land uses on site are vacant and public utilities. Existing land uses adjacent to the site to the north include vacant, light industrial, public utilities, and heavy industrial. To the west of the site is public utilities and vacant land. To the south of the site is light industrial, office, public utilities, and then further south is agricultural land. East across US Highway 41 in the southeastern corner of the intersection is vacant light industrial land. Light commercial uses are clustered at the intersection. And the northeastern quadrant is a daycare, light industrial, heavy commercial, heavy industrial, and vacant land. The adopted future land use category for the plan amendment is community mixed use 12. To the north of the site is the heavy industrial future land use category, and the light industrial future land use category surrounds the site on the east, west, and south. The proposal before you today is to change to the heavy industrial future land use category. So this shows the subject site facing north on Big Bend Road. And this portion of the site is currently public utilities and vacant land. This shows the subject site facing south. Existing land uses currently are vacant land. This shows the subject site facing east towards the US Highway 41 intersection. And this shows the subject site facing west of the site on Big Bend Road. The existing community mixed use 12 future land use category allows up to 1,257 dwelling units on site and up to a 0.5 FAR, or approximately 2.3 million square feet. And the retail commercial can exceed 650,000 square feet. The proposed heavy industrial future land use category would not allow any residential density on site except limited accessory residential, which would be an on-site security guard. It would increase the FAR to 0.75, or approximately 3.4 million square feet. And that FAR cannot be applied to processing, storage, or outdoor storage uses. If approved, the plan amendment would remove the residential, community-scale retail commercial, office, research corporate park, and mixed-use multipurpose future land uses, and introduce heavy industrial and rural-scale neighborhood commercial land uses. It would also remove the mix of land use requirements for projects 20 acres or greater and would allow for open storage uses. Based on the agency comments received, there are no objections. Planning Commission staff is finding this plan amendment to be consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the future land use element. Subject property is surrounded predominantly by the light industrial and heavy industrial future land use categories. The site is in a location consistent with the intent of the heavy industrial future land use designation, and there are no residential uses within a quarter mile of the site. The proposed amendment would result in a reduction in density and an increase in intensity that would be compatible with the development pattern in the surrounding area. The request fulfills the intent of policies 1.4, 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, and 16.5. The proposed amendment is consistent with Objective 28 and Policy 28.2, which recognizes working waterfronts as an important economic generator for the county. Removing the potential for residential dwelling units meets Policy 10.6, which does not allow density bonuses in order to direct residential population growth away from coastal areas. The proposed site would serve as a logical extension of the existing surrounding heavy industrial and light industrial future land use designations to north, east, west, and south. And these policies are located in your packet. Planning Commission staff is also finding the plan amendment to be consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the coastal management element. The site is located within the coastal high hazard area. Policy 6.3 and 10.4 state that any industrial or commercial development on more than 5 acres in the coastal high hazard area shall go through a plan unit development rezoning process for approval. Policy 6.2 states that new development in the coastal high hazard area is subject to a site plan review process and providing adequate data of the impacts on existing infrastructure. The plan amendment change to heavy industrial would ensure that any new development will go through a site planning process, and the applicant will need to provide data that shows any impacts to infrastructure. In addition, the proposed plan amendment is not located on the shoreline and is consistent with policy 7.6. And these policies are also located in your packet. So the plan amendment is located within the Apollo Beach in the South Shore Area-Wide Systems Community Plans. Strategy 7 of the Apollo Beach Plan seeks to preserve areas with a light industrial future land use designation near Big Bend Road and US Highway 41. While the proposed amendment is for a heavy industrial future land use designation, it will allow for light industrial uses and supports the intent of the community plan. The South Shore Area-Wide Systems Plan, Goal 2, seeks to protect the right-of-way needed to implement the countywide corridor plan map and acquire the needed right-of-way in advance of development. Big Bend Road that is west of US Highway 41 will become a 2-lane enhanced roadway as identified in existing adopted corridor preservation plan. And the preservation of any right-of-way will be implemented at the rezoning stage by the County Development Services Department. The proposed amendment also meets the Economic Development Objective 1 and will provide additional economic development opportunities. It will allow industrial land uses, which is preferred in the Apollo Beach Community Plan. The proposed amendment is consistent with the Apollo Beach and the South Shore Area-Wide Systems Community Plans. Planning Commission staff found HCCPA 21-22 consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County. So thank you. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. This was a privately initiated one, wasn't there? Is there a applicant presentation, or is this it?
Mr. Chair, this is Kristen Mora with Tampa Electric Company. I am here. We obviously agree with everything that the staff has presented. I'm certainly available to answer any questions that the commissioners may have, but I will skip a presentation in the interest of time if that's the commission's preference.
Thank you very much. I'm going to speak for them and say it probably is. All right. Looking for any public comment here. It looks like we didn't have anyone sign up on this one. I'm getting a nod over there. So we will move right on to our planning commissioners. Are there any questions or discussions of this item? From the planning commissioners, not seeing any lights in the room. Let me check the WebEx. Not seeing any hands on the WebEx. Then I will go on ahead and close public comment on this item and open it up to motions from the commissioners. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find HGCPA 21-22 consistent with the Future of Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners.
Second that.
Motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Powell, a second to that. Motion by Commissioner Cardenas. Is there any more discussion? I see Commissioner Birdstein's light. Nope. Is there any more discussion amongst the commissioners? Seeing none in the room and no hands or pictures on the WebEx, and I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Commissioner Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
5. Yes. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119. 1
Joseph,
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Commission.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I do have a request when people are doing the motions, if they can please speak up a little bit with the mask. It's making it a little bit harder to hear for the audio purposes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the presentations and the information, and we will move on to our next item, 2B, HCCPA 21-23, Comprehensive Plan Map Amendment, Coastal High Hazard Area Update, and the presenter is Sean College.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Sean College with Planning Commission staff. I'll share my screen. This is Comprehensive Plan Amendment 21-23. It is a map amendment titled Coastal High Hazard Area Update. The background, this is a publicly initiated plan amendment. The state recently updated the coastal high hazard area, and the update of the comprehensive plan is required by law to represent that area. There's really no discretion at the local level as to the boundaries of the coastal high hazard area. This is somewhat of a housekeeping plan amendment in that it's required by state law that the state area, determined area, be represented in the comprehensive plan. So we are updating the FLUME, the future land use map, per state law, and that's the subject of this plan amendment. The existing future land use map will be deleted and replaced with an updated future land use map. The only change being the green coastal high hazard area is updated now to the new updated state defined coastal high hazard area per state law. There were no objections from reviewing agencies with regard to this plan amendment, and there are a number of policies in the comprehensive plan regarding the coastal high hazard area, and this plan amendment would be consistent with those policies, specifically policy 6.1, which mirrors the state requirement and the state law defining what the coastal high hazard area is, and that it's determined by the state. With that, Planning Commission staff would recommend you issue the resolution in your packet with a finding of consistency with the Future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County, and forward that to the Board of County Commissioners for their considerations. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we had no one sign up for comment on this item, so I will turn it over to the commissioners for questions or comments, discussion of this item. Seeing no lights in the room and no hands on the WebEx, I will go ahead and close public comment on this item and open it up to the commissioners for motions. Commissioner Bernstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I would move that we find Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendment 21-23 consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the future Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan, and that we pass it along to the County Commission for consideration.
That's a consistency motion by Commissioner Bernstein. Is there a second to that motion, Commissioner Powell?
I'll second.
It's a second to that consistency motion by Commissioner Powell. Is there any more discussion of this item from the commissioners at this time? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you. And thank you for the presentation information, Mr. College. On to our next item, item 2C, HCCPA 21-24.
That one, the applicant is requesting a continuance.
Oh,
The applicant has requested a continuance, and I believe they are on the line. I don't know if they want to speak to the issue of the continuance, but they're requesting a continuance to the, I believe it's April 9th Planning Commission meeting. Let me just double check. Yes, April 11th Planning Commission meeting.
Mr. Chairman, this is Michael Horner. I'm agent for the applicant.
Thank you for the opportunity. Melissa is correct. We have reached out to staff and asked for that continuation of the CPA until April 11th to coincide also with a major mod that we have pending and allow for additional discussions with staff and the residents. So we would ask for that request for continuance. Thank you.
All right, is that something we have to make a motion on? And okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, I will open it up. Do I have to take public comment on this, even though it's been continued? I mean, it is before us. Yeah,
On the you could take public comment on the request for a continuance.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Okay. Well, I don't think I had anyone sign up for public comment on this item anyway, so to the commissioners for any comments or questions on this continuance of the applicant? Seeing none, let me just check on the WebEx. I got Commissioner Handy on the WebEx. I see no hands raised, so I will close public comment at this time and open it up to the commissioners for a motion on this continuance request. Yes, Commissioner Bernstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we accede to the applicant's request for continuance to the April hearing in order to further resolve the issues as he described in connection with HC CPA 21-24.
All right, that's a motion of approval by Commissioner Bernstein.
Second.
A second to that motion by Commissioner Powell. Is there any more discussion of this continuance amongst the commissioners? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Press,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes,
Motion carries 7-0.
thank you. All right, on to our next item of business then, 2D, HCCPA 21-25, Future Land Use Map Amendment, Lutz Lake Fern Road, and the presenter is Krista Kelly.
Thank you, and good evening. Krista Kelly, Planning Commission staff. Here's my PowerPoint. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. This evening, I'm presenting Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2125. This site is located in the northern portion of the county, as you can see. It's approximately 2 miles south of the boundary with Pasco County. It's a privately initiated plan amendment. It's approximately 3 acres in size and is within the urban service boundary. To give you a little more specific location, it's approximately a half a mile east of the Suncoast Parkway, and it's on the north side of Lutz Lake Fern. It is also within the Lutz Community Planning boundary. Give you an idea of the existing conditions. The site is surrounded by suburban scale residential development. This little inset up here is a zoom out to show you the development. There are many planned and established residential communities. The site has, as I noted, access to the Suncoast Parkway to the west. It is adjacent to a complex of schools, including an elementary, middle, and high school to the west. And across the street is a golf and country club and housing, additional suburban housing. The site has got a land use of agricultural rural 1 to 5, as you can see here outlined in black. Adjacent to the west, it's hard to see, but the site is designated residential for that orange color. The area to the north and south is residential 1, and then to the northeast is residential 2. The school complex is recognized with the public, quasi-public land use category. The applicant's requesting a change to residential 4. As you can see here, it is the same land use category as the site directly to the west. This is a street view looking off of Lutz Lake Fern. This is the site. You can see this home and a home adjacent. Looking further east from the site, this is a daycare. There's scattered retail and additional housing. This is the Lutz Lake Fern is 4-laned in this location with sidewalks on both sides of the road. The lower picture is a view looking west from the site towards the Suncoast Parkway. You can't really see, this is the parking lot in front of the school. And directly to the south of the site, this is the entranceway to the Golf and Country Club. The applicant is requesting a change to residential 4, which would essentially increase the number of dwelling units from 1 unit to 12 units. The maximum non-residential square footage allowed based on this change would increase from 30,000 square feet to 75,000 square feet. I'm sorry, 175,000 square feet. The FAR remains the same with both categories. It was distributed to agencies for comments. No objections were received. Staff reviewed it for consistency with the comprehensive plan and found it consistent with the future land use element policies dealing with the urban service area and the county's growth management strategy, and with the policies dealing with compatibility. Staff reviewed it also for consistency with the Lutz Community Plan, which recognizes this area as a suburban scale planned residential community, which the plan envisions supporting and ensuring that that area thrives. Based on this information, Planning Commission staff finds that HCCPA 2125 is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the future of Hillsboro's comprehensive plan, and recommends forwarding this recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners for their consideration. And that concludes my presentation. The representative is also here to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the applicant, just want to double check, the applicant didn't have a presentation.
I
Okay.
actually have a small PowerPoint, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
please go ahead.
Dan, if you can just run that PowerPoint. For the record, I'm Michael Horner, 14502 North Dale Mabry Highway, Tampa 33618, representing the owner and applicant. Next slide, please. So as Krista mentioned, and we appreciate staff support on this, commissioners, I'll be brief. This is kind of an enclave of AR zoning and AR comp plan. We have the large public schools to the west. We are surrounded by PDs with density credits, so the net density is much higher than the 2 as indicated. And we do have Res 4 directly to our west that is also zoned RSC 6. We are at 3 acres, which is a legal non-conforming lot, so we don't even currently meet the current AR requirements. Next slide, please. This is a trip generation, just showing that a maximum of 13 and 10 trips respectively in the AM and peak hour. It shows 12 units. We cannot develop 12 units due to road dedication and ponds, so quite low on the trip end impact factor. Next slide, please. These are little photos, one's extending to the east. Just wanted to show this because there is a raised median. Lutz Lake Fern Road is a major arterial divided. Access would be restricted to right turn in, right turn out. To the south is the TPG Cheval Golf Course entryway, which is almost directly south of the subject site. Next slide, please. This is a sketch plan we did, commissioners, just to let you know. We tried attached units. Staff indicated they would not support any kind of townhomes or attached units. This is the most yielding plan that we could come up with that was efficient, that met requirements for access and also for lot size requirements. This only shows 8 to 9 lots. That is probably the maximum that we'd be able to achieve under an RSC 6 rezoning. Next slide, please. Again, you can see we're surrounded by PDs. We do have that RSC 6 Res 4 directly to our west. We are seeking the same Res 4 plan category on the subject site. We have a BPO to the southwest, and then, of course, the 3 schools, Benito, Martinez, and Steinbrenner, I believe, which exceed 3,500 students in all the bus traffic. Next slide, please. This is just ending with a wetland inventory. We are right in the middle. You can see the schools clustered to the west. The parcel immediately to our west does have a wetland encroachment. Our site just to the east is high and dry. And we are one single family currently, house on 3 acres. And we'd be seeking the Res 4 to allow for a single family small subdivision. That concludes my presentation. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now for public comment, we only had you sign up, Mr. Horner, but I'm just going to make sure you didn't want to speak on public comment here, just to double check.
Don't look too hard for opposition, Mr. Chair.
All right. All right. I will turn it on over then, since we have no one else signed up for this item in public comment, to our commissioners. Is there any questions or discussions on this item? Hang on a second. Let me switch it over to the WebEx. I am not seeing any hands raised online or seeing any lights on in the room. So with that, I'll close public comment and open it up to the commissioners for motions on this item. Commissioner Powell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find HCCPA 20-25 consistent with the Future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners.
All right, I have a motion of consistency finding from Commissioner Powell. Is there a second, Commissioner Bernstein?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second to that motion by Commissioner Bernstein. Is there any more discussion on this item from the commissioners? Any comments? Not seeing any. I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. All right, on to our next item of business. It is HCCPA 21-26, Future Land Use Map Amendment, southeastern intersection of Valrico Road and State Road 60, and the presenter is Carla Llanos.
Good evening. Can you see my presentation at this current moment?
Yes.
Good evening. Carla Llanos, Senior Planner with the Comprehensive Plan Division with unincorporated Hillsborough County. For you is a Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2021-26. The plan amendment is circled in black. It's located in the middle of the plan amendments for October 2021 submittal cycle. It's located roughly to the east of the city of Tampa, as you can see on the screen. This is a privately initiated small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from residential 9 to residential 20. And the property is roughly 12.8 acres within the urban service area, and it's located southeast of Valrico Road and State Road 60 intersection. State Road 60 is a principal arterial road, and Valrico Road is a county collector. On the north side of State Road 60 is non-residential use. These non-residential uses are composed of retail, personal services, and office. Now, there is a Publix shopping plaza at the southwest corner of Valrico Road and State Route 60. And there's also the Brandon Boulevard Shops Plaza, which is located at the northwest corner of North Valrico Road and State Route 60. And there are several commercial businesses within the vicinity of the property. and they are located outside of the shopping plaza. And there's just a variety of them. There's a CVS, a Walgreens, Taco Bell. There's a diner nearby, a car wash, 2 gas stations with a convenience store. And also, to the south of the property is a multifamily residential development named Oak Valley. This was actually developed at a density of 11 dwelling units to the acre. Further south, as you see on the screen, is a single-family detached subdivision. It's named Valrico Forest. However, the access to the subdivision is not on Valrico Road. It's actually through Miller Road. So the site visit pictures, as you can see on the screen, is the frontage of the property with State Route 60. There is currently a sidewalk along State Route 60 and a large 40-foot wide ditch. Sidewalks are found in portions along Valrico Road, but they might need improvements when the time comes for development. The second entrance of the property is located to the east. The entrance is unimproved and most of the land on this area has been cleared. However, as shown on the picture, there's a large portion of vegetation along the eastern boundary. The southern portion of the property has a densely wooded area, some type of fencing or potentially like a barrier. As you can see back here, it was hard to see. I couldn't really get back there, but I know there was something solid separating the residential to the south and the subject property. Now, the existing flu category of the property is residential line 9, which allows a standard density of 9 dwelling units to the acre and a floor area ratio of 0.50. The applicant is requesting a future land use change from residential 9 to residential 20. The residential 20 blue would allow 20 dwelling units to the acre and 0.75 FAR. There is a limitation on retail for 0.35 FAR. The property is surrounded by residential 9 future land use. However, to the north, as you can see on the screen, is residential 6, and to the south is residential 4, and to the east is office commercial. There is currently no residential 20 within the proximity of the site. However, the office commercial does allow a density of 20 dwelling units to the acre and similar in non-residential as well. So these are the impacts of the adopted future land use and the proposed future land use. As stated previously, the Res 9 gives you a density of 9 dwelling units to the acre, which produces about 115 dwelling units, and roughly about 279,000 square feet of commercial. The Res 20 would allow for 256 dwelling units to the acre, with roughly 418,000 square feet of non-residential. The retail would be limited roughly to 195,000 square feet. Both districts do allow the same type of uses. The difference is just the increase in density and intensity. Staff has reviewed and found the request consistent with the comprehensive plan policies. Overall, the request is located in the urban service area. There's sufficient capacity to serve the site. It's centrally located with frontage on an arterial and a collector road. It is consistent with the surrounding uses, particularly the OC20 to the west. Now, it does also allow for some type of transition between the residential and the commercial uses along State Route 60. In conclusion, planning staff recommends that unincorporated Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2021-26 be found consistent with the comprehensive plan policies. And I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation on this one?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is Jake Kramer. I have a presentation.
Oh, Mr. Kramer, please go ahead.
Just a moment. All right, I apologize. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair and staff is supporting our application, so I will try to keep this as brief as I can. I want to highlight some additional information to supplement staff's presentation. I thought it was very good, and obviously we're in agreement with it. Our team members are here. Again, I'm Jake Kramer with Stearns Weaver Miller, 401 East Jackson Street. And our team members are here if anyone has questions tonight. So we're in Valrico. As you can see here, we're well within the urban service area. And again, we're in Valrico, we're not in Brandon. We're not in the Brandon community plan as well. Our proposal is to go from Res 9 to Res 20 for approximately 12.8 acres. You can see the OC 20 to the west that staff mentioned. I wanted to give you a little bit more context if you sort of zoom out, and you can see this application 21-26 in the center of the screen, as well as 21-27, which you'll hear next. That's a separate developer, but it's just to the east of this property. And I think what that indicates is that we're starting to see some market movement in this area in general, with the market feeling like density is appropriate in this area. You can see OC 20, a wide swath of that going west. You can also see there's some OC 20 to the east and some R20 to the east as well. Some of that R20 was just approved by the Board of County Commissioners about a year ago, and I believe that had staff support. Just in relationship to the two plan amendments, one issue that we worked, we had discussions with staff on, I just wanted to point out is that there are a couple of parcels between these two plan amendments. Those owners were approached and were not interested in being a part of these applications. That said, they didn't have any objection, and they will be, because of the flex provisions in the Land Development Code, those landowners would be able to utilize the comprehensive plan categories that we're proposing if they were so inclined in the future. Zoning, the site is zoned PD. There's PDs surrounding, mostly PDs and commercial uses surrounding from the zoning perspective. And the zoning, this project was approved for about 100,000 square feet of non-residential uses in the past. Essentially, the idea back then was that this would be a grocery anchored center. But as you can see in the maps that I'll show you shortly, I'll move to those now. There's a Publix and a Winn-Dixie within walking distance of the site. And so that vision really isn't appropriate for this site anymore. And the lower density residential that the site is now is also not, we feel, the best and most efficient use of the site at this time. So to do anything other than that, that current approval, of course, we would have to go back to the Board of County Commissioners and request a rezoning in the future. This area is targeted for growth in the Planning Commission's vision map. This isn't a regulatory map, but it helps us understand sort of what the vision, long-term vision for the area is. And the site is targeted as high-intensity suburban. Increasing the residential density of the area would also help. The Planning Commission projects that the Brandon area is expected to grow by about 21,000 people within the planning horizon. And so this would help reach the goal of accommodating those future residents. Now, coming back to the map of some of the uses in the area, as staff mentioned, there are really a wide variety of service and retail uses in this area. There are everything from car repair shops to restaurants to grocers as well, all within a walkable area. So this area is appropriate for multifamily level density, and that sort of a project would be more appropriate for this area as a transition to the townhomes that are to the south. On the transportation front, staff found there'd be no decrease to the level of service, even in current conditions. The good news is that FDOT is working on a project in this area to widen the road to 6 lanes, and that the construction is going to be starting very, very soon, maybe even this month. From a transit perspective, and again, this is to help you understand that, really the county and other agencies, the vision for this area is for a densification. There is no HART service in this area right now, but it is on the plan. It's on the unfunded premium service map for the future. And thinking really long-term here, there's great proximity to a CSX rail line, which could be used for transit purposes in the future. And the last point I'll make on just general mobility is this is a map of the surrounding sidewalks. As you can see, the sidewalks would be available to get to many of those uses that we were just discussing. Sidewalks are also available to get to the south, where there's a school and a park within pretty close proximity. So, this is really a site where density and intensity is appropriate because the county has planned for it and programmed for it over time. Just a couple of photos of the area to help you get an idea of what's out there. Really, so again, this site is not appropriate for lower densities and intensities. It's much more appropriate for multifamily level densities because of those walkable uses in the area. And because of the OC20 and the Res 20 and OC 20 to the east. Your professional staff has recommended approval. I did want to mention that we have not heard any objections, but we did receive some letters of support from nearby businesses that need housing pretty desperately from their employees, and those were provided to staff. And again, this is in line with the county's vision for Brandon and Valrico, and this application will help us, allow us to start connecting some of those dots and turn this into more of a mixed-use corridor. So with that, we respectfully ask for recommendation of approval tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We have quite a few people sign up for public comment on this item. So before we get started going through everyone, I just want to remind everyone that it's 3 minutes per person. We're going to keep it to that here. So the first person we have signed up for public comment on this is Mr. Kramer.
No need to speak again, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up we have David Smith.
He's on our team,
Okay.
Chairman, and he also doesn't need to speak. It may be all folks from my team.
Okay, we'll still run through them. We got to make it legal. Next up is Christian. I'm going to say Christian Y because I'm not sure I can pronounce the last name properly. Yepes?
All good. This is Christian Yepes. This is Christian Yepes. No need to speak for me. I'm part of the applicant.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Stephen Henry.
Same thing. I'm part of the applicant team.
Thank you, sir. All right, Brian Blazewick.
Same thing, part of the applicant team.
Thank you, sir. Joe Hashem. Joe.
Mr. Chair, Joe did not sign into the meeting.
Okay. And John Barry. John Barry.
John did not sign in as well.
Okay, and what about Elizabeth Belcher?
Elizabeth, you're muted. Okay.
Hello. Hey, I'm Elizabeth Belcher. I live in the area off of Miller Road. I have questions and concerns. I know that this is a color change as per the Hillsborough County, but we need to know as a community what multifamily is entailed, because if it's not consistent with our single family, we're primarily single family. And if we're going to get multifamily, that could be apartments. And what are the heights of the buildings of this apartments? If it's not apartments, is it going to be townhouse? This might be very preliminary, but we want to know as a community what direction this is headed towards. As a resident and a native Floridian in Valrico area, we drive this. I drive this every day. And it's nice that we have sidewalks and things like that, but there are more cars than pedestrians. So there's also an issue with State Road 60, the entrance from Publix to Valrico Road, a State Road 60 heading east, going towards Miller Road, the turning lane. I mean, he talked about extending this to a 6-lane highway in the future. When is that going to occur? Our impact in schools. We have lots of issues with schools now, and if it's multifamily and they're building, let's say, apartments 4-story high, how many children are going to be added to the schools in our areas? Again, traffic is a major issue. Where are the entrances going to be to allow all these multifamily families to travel around here? Because the realization is people don't really walk. You want them to, so you provide sidewalks, but they don't really do that. So that's a lot of my concern with this project and the next project being presented. And also, I don't know if this is appropriate, but there's probably not a lot of opposition because of the times we're living in. And it is very difficult for a lot of people who are not in tune with the internet world to log on to these things, and the restrictions of the 250 feet radius that the letter is provided. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Belcher. And you were the last one to sign up for comment on this item, so I will turn it back over to the applicant for a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to share my screen again. Thank you again. Going back to, so several of the applicants' concerns, most of the concerns I think related to really what are going to be zoning issues. And we will need to, if there is any residential to be built on this site whatsoever, we will have to bring forward a rezoning on that. And we would be happy to, meet with Ms. Belcher at that time to be able to, go over what our plans are. And then that will have to go through ultimately to the Board of County Commissioners. So we would have to specify things like height, buffering, and access as part of that plan. And so we'd love to meet with her as a part of that. She had a question about the State Road 60 widening. And what I was told by FDOT yesterday, last week, is that the construction is imminent and that they've actually already begun the preparations. And so it may take a month or two to actually see cones on the ground and things like that. But as far as they're concerned, the construction is imminent. So we should see that very soon. There was a concern about schools, and schools are handled through the school concurrency process. And so that's not really appropriate for this stage, but again, if and when we propose residential, there will be comments from the school board during the zoning, and then ultimately during permitting, we would have to go through school concurrency to ensure that there are spaces for those future students. So with that, I will close, and I would just again remind you that going back to this map, the vision map, this is really the densification that the county and our reviewing agencies have prepared for and have programmed for. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer. All right, with that, I will turn it over to our commissioners for questions or comments. I see Commissioner Kress has her light on. Nope, okay. Questions or comments from the commissioners, discussion on this item? I am not seeing any lights in the room or any hands raised or faces online. So with that, I will go on ahead and close the public comment on this item and open it up to the commissioners for motions. Yes, Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find HC CPA 21-26 from residential 9 to residential 20 consistent with the future of Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners.
All right, that's a motion of consistency finding from Commissioner Powell. Is there a second to that motion? Commissioner Fernandez?
second
All right, that's a second to that consistency motion. Second is coming from Commissioner Fernandez. Is there any more discussion or questions on this item from the commissioners? Seeing none, let me double check the WebEx. Seeing no one on the line, I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you. All right, thank you for the information from the applicant from staff, and we will move on to our next item. Item number 2F, HCCPA 21-27, Future Land Use Map Amendment, southwest intersection of Miller Road and State Road 60. And the presenter is Ms. Carla Llanos again.
Good evening. This is Carla Llanos, Senior Planner with Planning Commission staff. Before you is the Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2021-27. It's located in the middle of the plan amendment cycle for October 2021. It's actually right next to the previous one we just presented, which was CPA 2021-26. As you can see, the one we're presenting now is the one circled in black. This is a privately initiated small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from residential 4 and 9 to residential 20. The property is approximately 18.4 acres within the urban service area. It's located southwest of Miller Road and State Road 60 intersection. State Road 60, as previously mentioned, is a principal arterial road, and Miller Road is a county collector. On the north side of State Road 60 is non-residential use. Again, these non-residential uses are composed of retail, personal services, office, etc. Now, there is a Hungry Howie's and a Winn-Dixie shopping plaza that is located at the southeast corner of South Miller Road and State Road 60, which is right here on the map. And a U.S. Postal Office and a 3-story glass office building is located to the north, which is right over here in this area. To the northeast is an auto parts store and a self-storage facility, and it's followed by a gas station and several auto mechanic body shops. Now, to the south of the property is single-family detached homes. Further down is the Valrico Forest subdivision that I mentioned in the previous CPA that was accessed off of Miller Road. Then to the west of the property is vacant commercial, followed by Oak Valley multifamily, and the proposed residential 20 under the CPA 2021-26, which is in this area. And this is a multifamily. Now, as mentioned before, the property has frontage on State Road 60. These site visit pictures show the entrance currently. It is heavily wooded at the current moment. Now, these next pictures show the intersection of State Road 60 and Miller Road. And there's also a visual heading southbound on Miller Road. This is an aerial of the subject site. This is what the Winn-Dixie currently looks like here at the entrance. And then this is the Valrico Forest subdivision that I mentioned. Now, the existing FLU category is residential 4 and residential 9 as mentioned. Residential floor category allows 4 dwelling units to the acre and 0.25 FAR. Residential 9 allows 9 dwelling units to the acre and 0.50 floor area ratio or FAR. The proposed future land use is residential 20, which would allow for 20 dwelling units to the acre or 0.75 FAR with a limited retail of 0.35. The property is surrounded by residential 9 future land use. However, to the north is residential 6, to the south is residential 4, and to the east, further to the east, is office commercial. 3 parcels to the west of the subject site is a proposal for residential 20 under CPA 2021-26. And residential 20 exists to the east of the property near St. Cloud Avenue. So it shows probably like a trend of the growing commercial and the higher density and intensity along these areas. So this would be probably considered some type of infill at given points. I could anticipate in the near future probably these would also come in for similar requests in the future. Now, these are the density and intensity impacts combined with the residential 4 and residential 9. It produces 119 dwelling units and roughly 300,000 square feet of commercial. The residential 20 will provide 369 dwelling units and roughly 600,000 square feet of commercial with a limited retail of 195,000 square feet. Now, what is the difference? The difference is that it would increase, obviously, the density and intensity, but it would also allow mixed-use development on all the property, not just a limited portion of the residential 9 of the existing. Staff has reviewed and found the request consistent with the comprehensive plan policies. Overall, the request is located in the urban service area, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. The development is properly timed. It's centrally located on, arterial and a collector road. And it also provides for transition between the commercial and the residential, just as the previous plan amendment suggested. Development is also located in an area where there's sufficient capacity to serve the site, whether it's currently with capacity to serve or planned future capacity. And in addition, this seems to be a growing trend as State Road 60 is developing on either side, usually going eastward along State Road 60. So it's pretty much consistent with the timing of development. So planning staff recommends that the CPA 2021-27 be found consistent with the Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan policies, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation?
Yes, we do. Elise Batzel with Stearns Weaver Miller, 401 East Jackson Street. If I can share my screen, that would be great.
Do you see the share button at the bottom of the screen?
I do.
Okay, so you're just going to click that share button.
What did I do here?
And you should see the presentation pop up in a separate screen. If you don't see it, you'll have to open up the presentation first and then share your screen again.
Can you see that?
There we go.
Yes, you can.
Excellent. Thank you, Jake. Mr. Kramer. As I said, Elise Batzel, 401 East Jackson Street, on behalf of the applicant. Yep. Our team members tonight, the applicant is Falcone and Associates. The landowner is Bucala International Corporation. The engineers from Half Associates are available, as well as our traffic engineer, Steve Henry with Links and Associates. This project is generally located at the southwest corner of 60 and Miller Road, and it's approximately 8.58 acres. As Carla indicated, this project is just east of the item that you just heard about from Mr. Kramer. And given the close proximity of this project to CPA 21-26, you'll notice that our presentations are virtually identical. So I'm going to go through this really quickly. If at any point in time you'd like me to slow down, please let me know. I'd be glad to answer questions. This is an ideal infill site located in Valrico and within the urban service area. It is not within the Brandon Community Plan. As Carla mentioned, this is a change from Res 4 and Res 9 to Res 20. You can see here the future land use map. This is really the important slide, I think, from the whole presentation, just because it shows this consistent development and how on each end you have these bookends and the properties are starting to develop out inside. You know, we often hear from the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners how they want us to bring good infill projects to them. And we believe that this is a prime example of just that. Again, the two property owners in between were not interested in joining us, but they would be able to take advantage via the flex provisions in the comprehensive plan. This just shows the zoning map of the property. It's currently zoned PD. The current PD, which is 06-0464, was originally approved in 2006 for up to 75,000 square feet for commercial general uses and 86 townhomes. To address some of Ms. Belcher's concerns, we are planning on submitting a planned development application following this, at which time, you know, the site plan will show things such as height, appropriate buffering and access. And like Mr. Kramer, we'd be happy to work with her on that plan very early in the process. This proposed amendment really increases the intensity and density, but the uses are the same as what is allowed today. Again, the area is targeted for growth in the vision map for high intensity suburban use. It keeps up with the population projections set forth by the Planning Commission's population table. And again, is another example of good compatible infill opportunities. You can see like that just like the item number 26 that was just before you, we are across from a very tall Keller Williams store, advanced auto parts. There's a extra space storage and barbershops all within the proximity of this particular site. Again, State Road 60 is funded and construction is imminent, the widening. There are transit and mobility opportunities in the future, and it's identified on the 10-year unfunded premium service map as an area for transit. There is that future opportunity for the rail line to be used as multimodal transportation. And lots of sidewalks from the site all the way into the community, into the park, and into the elementary school, which is to the south. This is the prime example of compatibility and infill development. We do have staff recommendation of approval, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Batzel. All right, we have a few people signed up for public comment on this one, but again, I can tell some of these are with the applicant. I am still going to go through the names as we are supposed to, so if you do not want to speak, just please feel free to say so again. All right, the first, and a reminder for those who do want to speak, 3 minutes. All right, we will start off with Jacob Kramer.
He does not need to speak. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Batzel speaking for him. All right, next up, we have David Smith.
Mr. Smith is on our team and available to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. And Stephen Henry.
Yes, I'm with the applicant. I don't need to speak.
Thank you, sir. Kyle Thornton. Kyle.
Also
with the applicant, I don't need to speak.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ryan Williams.
Ryan did not log into the meeting.
He didn't.
Ryan is the applicant. Thank you.
Okay. And Joe DeChristina.
Joe did not log into the meeting.
Okay. And next up, Anthony Giuliano. Or Juliano.
Anthony did not log in. This is Steve Doherty with the applicant as well.
All right. Moving on to Stephen Doherty.
And that is me, and no further comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Joe Hashem.
Mr. Chair, Joe and John did not sign into the meeting.
Sweet. All right, moving on to our last individual, Anthony Belcher.
Elizabeth?
Yes. May I comment?
Is that allowed?
It's Elizabeth Belcher.
Elizabeth Belcher?
Okay, are you speaking for Anthony?
Not Anthony, but I did sign up to speak.
Okay, that must be you. Maybe the wrong name got in there. I got Belcher as the last name, so we'll let you
There's
go
not
ahead.
many of us.
Go ahead. 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm Elizabeth Belcher again, saying the same concerns that I had with the other project. Again, living as a resident, a native of Valrico, huge factors, traffic. They can't tell us the time that the 60 will be widened. That's fine, I understand that, but we need to know as a community. Also, this project is a little bit more sensitive to me because it's even closer to my house, my backyard, and my family's backyard. In 2015, I was at the meeting when they approved that project, that rezoning for the 86 townhouses. My major concern is this multifamily is going to bring apartments in a single family residential area. And I know they keep saying it's consistent, and I understand where they're saying it's consistent, but it's really not consistent when you live here and you drive here. I want to know where I can get these vision maps and who makes them. I don't know what that's about, but I would like to research more about that. And the entrance is on Miller. Again, is Miller going to be widened? Is there going to be an entrance for this new community into Miller? Because the traffic that lines up from 60 to Miller comes past my house. So it's very concerning. And I know they talked about the schools will address the impact of that, but as a resident, I don't understand how the commissioner or the county can go from residential 4 to residential 9 to residential 20. It's a big difference in population and the impact it's going to have in our community, our traffic. I understand growth. I'm happy about it, but I am not happy if it's a huge impact and we're going to be stuck in traffic. And our community's values are going to go down, our homes. That's where it hurts the people who actually live here that are not just somewhere else developing it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Belcher. All right, she was the last one to sign up on this one, so I'm going to again go back to the applicant for a rebuttal response, 3-minute period.
Absolutely. With respect to the rezoning, Ms. Belcher, we will have to do a in-depth transportation analysis at the time that we move forward with rezoning. And so that transportation analysis, and Steve Henry can comment more about this, but it might be that when we go through that process, there are improvements that need to happen at the intersection or at the entrance. We won't know until we do that transportation study, but we will absolutely, work with staff and work with you on those issues. With respect to school concurrency, just to give you a little bit more information about the process, when we move forward, we will have to get a school concurrency analysis done by the school board to determine if there is adequate capacity in your schools. And if not, there's a number of different things that can happen. The development can either not move forward, or we would enter into a prop share agreement with the school board and the county. And what would happen at that point in time is we would actually have to pay the cost to seat as many new students as would be deficient. And then the school board would take that money and then invest it back into schools. We don't know until we get to that process, but I just wanted to give you a little more information about that process. And all of the other issues that you mentioned in the prior, height and all of those issues, we will work very closely with you. We understand that we're even closer to you than the last application. And we've already talked internally with our development team about appropriate buffering, to the south against the residential neighborhood. So I just wanted to let you know that we're keenly aware of that and already planning some of those mitigating factors. And we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, over to the commissioners. Are there any questions or comments, discussion on this item from the commissioners? Let me check the WebEx. I am not seeing any hands raised on the line. Bitch? Okay, Commissioner Handy.
Thank you. Yeah, a couple of comments. I sympathize very much with Ms. Belcher's comments. I think many of us might remember when Valrico was a rather rural community. When I saw this application, I was a little concerned about the timing, the single-family home surrounding it. I really feel that it's unfortunate that we have no provision for keeping some amount of green space, even within that the vision map corridor for the high-intensity suburban. It seems like the surrounding remaining neighborhoods will suffer. However, it is part of the vision map for that high-intensity suburban development, and it does check all the other boxes with the sidewalks and the proximity to transit. And it certainly is infill, which I do support. I would like to comment, though, that let's remember support of these infill projects, and the reason we do so is to focus such development. I mean, we are talking in this case 3 times the density of what is currently allowed. And by approving such changes to our comp plan, that means we should be directing that growth exactly in this infill type of category and away from similar proposals that are outside the urban service boundary. So for those reasons, I would support this primarily for infill, but I do sympathize with the applicant, with Ms. Belcher and the community, because it is an enormous increase in density, and because of those existing families and single family homes, and they will be highly affected, I feel. So hopefully, yes, it will all of her concerns, let's hope, will be addressed during those zoning processes. That was it, just a few comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Handy. Very thoughtful comments. Are there any more comments or discussion, questions from the commissioners on this item? Seeing none at this time, I will go ahead and close the public comment on this item and open it up to the commissioners for motions on this item. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find HCCPA 21-27 from residential 4 and residential 9 to residential 20 consistent, and forward this recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners.
All right, a motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Powell.
Commissioner Kress, second.
Second to that motion by Commissioner Kress. There any more discussion of this item from the commissioners? Any more comments? Not seeing any. I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and the information. Thank everyone for their comments and their time on that one. Moving on to our last agenda item, 2G, HCCPA 2128 Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment, 10-year Water Supply Facilities Work Plan. And the presenter will be Diego Guerra.
Good evening, Commissioners. Diego Guerra, Planning Commission staff. This item is the, excuse me, this item is the county's comprehensive plan, and this amendment serves to update the 10-year water supply facilities work plan. This is a publicly initiated amendment, and the 10-year water supply facilities work plan is required to be updated following the regional water supply plan adoption, which occurred in November of 2020. The non-adoptable backup documentation included in your packets includes a detailed analysis and report that examines projections, sources, and project options. This was a multi-agency coordination effort with information provided by Hillsborough County, Tampa Bay Water, and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. This is an update to the One Water chapter by replacing the existing table with the table found in your packets. The purpose of the update is to fulfill the statutory requirement to update the 10-year water supply facilities work plan, which is updated every 5 years. The update replaces the work plan table as indicated in the previous slide with and found in the comprehensive plan with the one in your packets. Planning Commission staff examined the plan amendment with respect to goals, objectives, and policies and found that the plan amendment is consistent with the intergovernmental coordination element in the One Water chapter, and both elements policies related to ensuring consistency of the plan with the Southwest Florida Water Management District's Regional Water Supply Plan, conservation and aquifer recharge policies related to alternative water supply, reuse, and conservation. The amendment is also consistent with the One Water chapter policy to satisfy potable water demand. We did not receive objections from reviewing agencies and received comments from the City of Plant City, Hillsborough County, EPC, and Tampa Bay Water, who requested their funded projects also be depicted on the work plan table, and they can be found on the second page of the table towards the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed text amendment, Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2128, be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County. Commissioners, this concludes my presentation. Myself and Mr. John McCary, Hillsborough County staff, are available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. All right, are there any, no one signed up for public comment on this one, so we're just gonna turn it right over to the commissioners with questions or comments, discussions, this item. Let me check the WebEx, double check with Melissa, you don't see any hands. I didn't see that last one. I don't know what that was about, yeah. Not seeing any lights or hands online, I will go on ahead and close public comment on this item and open it up to the commissioners for motions. Commissioner Bernstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I would move that we find proposed Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendment 21-28 consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the future Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan, and that we refer it along to the County Commission for consideration.
All right, that's a motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Bernstein. A second to that motion by Commissioner Powell. Is there any more discussion of this item by the commissioners? Seeing none at this time, I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Cardenas,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Handy,
Yes.
Kress,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the information and the presentation. Before we adjourn this meeting, since that's our last time, I just have one quick question for you, Ms. Ornita, actually a personal inquiry. As I was listening to Ms. Belcher talk, she spoke about one thing that was separate from the project was some of the difficulty that she had, and she had said she thought some other people had with connecting with us online, the barrier, the e-barrier that some people face. And I know I've been one who's been adamant about trying to get us back in person for a long time now, to the point where getting us down into the boardroom and getting us back into this boardroom. Obviously, it's not our decision to be made because it's someone else's building, but I'm just wondering, have there been talks in that direction from higher up on when the public might be able to start getting back around here, or when that type of engagement might become more normalized as opposed to this forced, you know, thing that not everyone is just through the moon about? So.
I have not gotten an update since the holidays, so I will follow up with facilities to get something more current. They did in the fall start having some in-person testimony on the second floor, with a lot of that the public gathering in the lobby in the There's a multi-purpose room down there kind of across from the bank. And that has the ability, I believe, to feed into HTV's system. So I will, I think they were kind of testing it out with some of the BOCC meetings. And I will follow up.
Well, that's good. That's good to know there's work, at least in that direction, something moving.
Yes,
to
for
try and
the
help
zoning
people.
meetings, they are required to have in-person testimony because they're quasi-judicial.
Right.
They hold that at Saunders Library. And we have worked with them on some of our public outreach meetings on being hybrid at some of the parks. We're doing one at Saunders ourselves. So for our other planning meetings that aren't these, that aren't HTV televised, we have utilized that approach.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, that was it for me. Make sure no other commissioners have any other questions or discussions. Thank you, staff. Thank you, applicants, for your time, and we will adjourn this meeting. See everybody next month. Meeting adjourned.